Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Mrs. M. Hey, Clicker. Who said what? Hello, Chase. Hey, B Crumbs. Let me turn that music off. Hey, Skylab, Pointer Lover, Christina, Dreamscape. Hey, Alma. Sorry about that. Hey, Cutie Pie, Michelle, Melanie, KPM. Hey, Candy Cane. Hey Kelly, Kaylin, good to see you. Hey, the hypocrisy, cool gamer, Trippy, pursuing understanding. Hey, Katrina. Sorry, you guys, I'm a minute late. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the girls up. I'm gonna tell you guys what happened just briefly because I think I could use some advice. But before we were about to start, I was getting my stuff to come over next door because that's usually where I film. And Bentley was getting ready to go to bed, and he reached down to pet our dog, and the dog reached up and like barked and snapped and kind of, well, not kind of, bit the side of his face, and he like barely broke the skin. But my dog is not aggressive at all. I've never seen him do something like that. Where I come from, like I grew up on a farm where if a dog hits a kid, you bites a kid, I mean, you don't keep it. But that is what happened. He's okay. He's cleaned up and laying down in bed, and the dog is, up in its cage at my dad's house. But that is why we're late. So, are you guys there? Can you hear me, Jen and Jen?
Yes, I can hear you. I was waiting. But Bentley's okay.
Bentley is perfectly okay. Like it was very mild, but it looks
Okay.
like a couple little light scratches on his cheek. But
So
still,
like caught him with the tooth.
yeah. But
So he
just the
didn't.
fact, but he tried. You know what I
He
mean? I think it just barely caught him.
he actually was trying to bite him. It wasn't a case of a bark, like being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm from the same school of thought. That's my mom. She lived on a farm, and when she was raised the same way, when a dog bites, especially a child, you put the dog down. Um, but um, sometimes, you know, it's not like there's a difference between a, a timing issue where Bentley and the dog were in the wrong place at the wrong time at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was he didn't intend to bite him, but
Well, he like went down to hug him to tell him good night, and he was in his
okay.
bed, and I didn't even think about that. What if he is in pain? I don't know. I just yelled at the dog, put him on a leash, and walked him next door and put him in the cage. I was like, "You're in trouble," and he just looked at me really sad. Like I feel really bad now that if he is in pain, but I
Especially
mean, the
because he's
pain is
never
like
done that before. Just well, keep watching, keep an eye on the dog, because what kind of dog is it?
Boston Terrier. I think that's what
Okay,
they're called, the little black and
okay,
white. He's
yeah.
such a good dog too. I mean, oh my god, I love him so much. I was just telling my dad, I was like, it hurts my feelings to have him in trouble, like make him stay up there. And but
Oh,
because he just looked at me so sad, he's like, like he just, I don't know. But hopefully, I'm gonna go look in the bed and I'll check him out and see if he's in pain of anything. I thought maybe there was like a ball or something in his bed, he was trying to keep, or I don't know. But former vet assistant, something going on with the dog, probably not intentional. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little better. But, anyways, not to make this all personal about me, the dog, anything. I just wanted you guys to know why I was late because I told you girls like 15 or 20 minutes ago, okay, I'll be right there. And then I wasn't, and we started. But how are you guys this evening?
I'm good. I'm just tired, babe. We're gonna have to figure out a different system because I was
Yeah.
as I was well, here's the deal. I can't the next part of the Gypsy and Nick case is the crime. And there's a lot of layers, a lot of moving parts. It's quite complicated. And yet tomorrow is also my day to host the calls and then the discussion. And I feel like, and today was a good example of that. Um, I think that I'm burning the candle at both ends, and I will not be able to do the crime part of the discussion justice because I have too much on my plate. So I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is get through the calls from Letecia, and then pick up Gypsy and Nick. And I hope you guys can understand that. But I want to be able to, there's a lot of details to this crime. And I don't want to forget any, and I don't want to get all jumbled up. And I want to have plenty of time to get stuff together to present it for you guys. And this is my fault because I was supposed to do these lives last weekend and I didn't do it, and that's on me. So, but I hope you guys will continue to be patient with me, and rest assured that when I do cover it, it will be quality, which is what I want for you guys. I want to give you guys quality content.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I understand that. That's a lot on your plate, in my opinion. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Plus, it gives you, look here, Skylab says she's mentally exhausted with these calls too, and we're not done yet. We still have a little ways to go. Michelle, that's sad. How are you, Curious Jen?
I am well. I just put my laundry in. I took a nap earlier. I delivered some stuff for Walmart. I did the AHS live with Jen. I did some grocery shopping. The dog's happy. Let's do this.
Yay. I got notes. Eagle Eye, that makes me feel better. My dog did that to my 5-year-old son. He's almost 15. It never happened again because y'all know Rambo's my baby. I love that dog. He's so good to me. Yeah, he's such a good dog. Like, he won't even jump on me. Like, because I can't stand the claws. So I'll be like, no, don't jump when he gets excited. And he'll stand there and like want to jump so bad you can see, but he won't. He's just a good boy. So
yeah. And what does that say, Toy Amy? What she's saying is right. Like, he hit him with his tooth. Trust and believe. If a dog wants to bite anybody, whether it be a child or just anything, a person, anything, they are very good at, when they intend to biting. I just feel like it was not intentional.
No malicious.
Right. No malicious.
Oh, well, all right. Okay, so let me see here with these calls from today.
Also, Jen, I feel like it's not fair because you're the only one of us that didn't take a nap today.
I did not take a nap today. I didn't. And you know what? That's another thing. These dadgum calls are getting in the way of my naps. But I'm glad we have them. And I'm glad we're doing it the way we're doing it, where we play them, no commentary, give everybody a chance to hear them in their entirety. Because I think that if we were to pause for commentary, the effect gets lost. There was no pause for commentary when these calls were taking place. Now, granted, there is some time in between each call, but the total amount of calls, like the last two, yesterday was 2 hours and 44 minutes from 2:15. 2:14 was what, 2 hours and almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere around in that neighborhood. And it's so, that is the way that Al is being bombarded. Thank you, Michelle. That's so sweet of you. That's all of this coming at Al at one time. And even when you get, there's really no break, because even when he's off the phone with Letecia, he's replaying what she said, what she didn't say, just all the different things in his head. And on top of that, how can he get the truth out of her for the next call? So he's constantly being mentally bombarded.
Oh, yeah.
By Letecia in one way or another.
And like you said, there is more than what we heard. So, we already knew he was being bombarded, but to see exactly how much, and it's just so evil after what she's done. And she's aware of what she's done for some of the things that she says, like we talked about last night on your channel. Like, it's just, that's a thought that always comes back to me. I'm like, you know what you've done here, and you're acting like this. Like, I just cannot get over it.
Leading him on all these wild goose chases. It's intentional cruelty, because I'm not so black and white that I can't realize when somebody, it's not Letecia, spoiler alert, there are times when people are cruel, but they're not intending to be cruel.
Right.
But it ends up, it doesn't matter. It's still cruel, but it's not intentional. Like Sarah Boone's going to bed was not intentional. Some people are not intentionally cruel, but Letecia is being intentionally cruel.
Yeah.
Particularly when she talks about the essay of Gannon. And when they have that discussion, Al, and I know that this is coming from Agent Grusing, the instinctual reaction when you hear that about your child is to start talking about that. But Agent Grusing knows that Letecia's personality is such that the focus cannot ever be on Gannon. It has to be on her trauma, what she went through.
Oh, yes.
And that has got to be so hard to do.
And you see Al in that at times, like, today there was a part where he does that, and you can tell that, it's part of probably how he's being coached to do it, but he like puts the focus back on her. I'm here for you. I don't remember exactly what he says, but you know what I mean. It's exactly what you're saying. He does that.
Yeah.
Legendary CEO, thank you for even asking. He did really good. They actually won by a ton. It was like 48-8 or something like that. And yeah, he did really great. Thank you. Sorry, Jen, go ahead. And the other Jen.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, I'm shaking up. You got anything, Curious Jen, before I start with my notes?
And I'm going to take that as we'll come back to Jen.
Oh, wow. No, I was totally talking, but I was muted. Sorry.
Oh, this brings back memories. This feels like when we were covering the trial.
Right. No, I was just thinking, we know that she doesn't sleep at night. So of all the time, all this time that she's spending on these pretext phone calls with him, every moment of every day and every night, aside from these calls, she's also working against him, whether that's telling people online that Gannon isn't biologically his, or, she's just, if it were just these pretext calls for the day, that would be too much. But this is these pretext calls are only one tiny part of each day, and the stuff that she was doing, whether that was on Google, on social media, with her friends, with her family, the news reporters. It's just one small amount.
It's a portion of the day, because when she's talking to Al, but she's also monkeying around on Facebook, doing all kinds of shenanigans over there. Google searching. She's just doing all kinds of stuff, and evil never sleeps. So therefore Letecia has, 24 hours a day to be evil each day.
And in these calls from today, or not today, but, February 16th, that's when she's, it's so obvious that she knows she's on stage. She knows people are listening. And, Albert did a good job overall. But in the calls from this day where he was like, no, but you're a good person, you're a good mom, and it was very obvious that he wasn't speaking to her as he would normally speak to her. So, but this is also, they had the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. And so this is day 4 of him doing these pretext calls. And he's trying, Yeah. But it was just really obvious to her that, somebody else was listening.
Yeah. And rest assured, you guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, no, I was just, so this is where she kind of says, what, you didn't expect me to be crazy, and then she says that the reason why she's been crazy and told him all these stories or lies, T-tales, is because everyone else is doing it. So the only reason she's doing it is that she's reacting to everyone else who's doing it. And then she shoots off in some unknown direction coming out of left field with, I'm tired of people saying they don't believe in God. Wait, what? And so she knows that Albert is not talking to her. He's talking for the FBI. And she's not talking to Albert. She's talking to anyone who's listening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in this call, I felt like we were more involved in the calls than,
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a departure.
Yeah.
I just want to say a couple things really quick from the comments to you guys, and then also tell the chat. So after the lives, I've gotten comments where people have asked for you all's channels, and I've linked them in the comments. But just so it's said in the video, for people that are watching later or now, both of their channels are in the description box as well. This way, you don't have to wait for me to respond if the live chat hasn't loaded yet, because we've been dropping them there, of course, but it doesn't load always by the time people watch.
That's a good idea. I need to do that. Okay. I'll put you guys in the description too.
I started that today because like a lot of people were asking for y'all's channels, and I did send them all the links, but this way, if anybody needs them, they're right in the description box. And then Kelly says, the pause for commentary is unnecessary. We're all adults. We don't need things explained to us that are common sense. I appreciate what we get to listen to straight through. And I thought your comment, along with another person who was asking how much is left and what's going to happen next. So I thought that we would tell you guys there are a few days of calls left, but we are waiting on a bunch of new calls. And we're going to do it a little differently, but somewhat similar. We're going to do that, so they're in 15-minute increments. So we'll listen to the call, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll listen to the call, and then we'll talk about it. There will be no pausing during the calls. That way you get them in full like you like, but we're going to chat right after since they're just 15 minutes each. That's kind of what we've worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, so Jacqueline, there's 4 comments 5 that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, thank you, El Reindeer. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're doing that because I currently can't see the chat at all. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. I was starting them, and I'll keep doing that as we go, you guys. So if you think I didn't see your comment or something, it might be started, and we'll come around to them. Jacqueline says, I have wondered, do you think if he took her side publicly and met her, would she tell him the truth?
No.
Well, no, because first of all, he couldn't meet her. She was not in Colorado at that time on the 15th, the 14th, the 15th, or the 16th. So there was no way to meet her, number one. And number two, I think that I don't ever think that Al publicly ever didn't take Letecia's side. I think that's Letecia's interpretation of it. And I think it is a form of manipulation because Albert hasn't come out formally. I mean, the truth of the matter was Albert never came out formally and said he thought she did it, nor did he come out formally and say publicly and say, no, she didn't do it. So he didn't really actually say anything, but it was a form of manipulation on Letecia's part to make Albert feel guilty. She is very good at finding a person's Achilles heel or tendon. What is it that gets you Achilles heel? And using it against you because she is a succubus, which is also a demon.
Yes, she absolutely is. Mandy says, I know you all are being better about not calling T names, but I'm not. I've called her all kinds of names the last few days. She is disgusting. And I don't know that we're doing so much better.
I just called her a succubus. Although yesterday I did good. Yesterday I called her ma'am and lady repeatedly. Those were the words, and then every once in a while maybe a name here and there. But for the most part, I just said a very ma'am and lady like that, angry. No, I do not think Sarah Boone was unintentional. Well, not like, do I think she planned it? No. Do I think she thought that he would die when he was in that suitcase? No, but she intentionally threw him down the stairs in that suitcase, and she intentionally kept him in that suitcase overnight. I don't think that she thought he would die because it's not something that's airtight. So I think she didn't consider positional suffocation, which most people don't. And so, but yeah,
She thought he would just be uncomfortable, most likely for the night, and pissed off.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and then there's 2 more I starred, and then we'll get into our notes. Pam says, hello, everyone. I've only been watching a short time on all of your shows. Really nice to see how nice and respectful you 3 are to each other. So refreshing. Thank you. And thank you. And
Thank
then I
you.
started Alma. She says, okay, I'm more curious about her state of mind. If she's a narcissist, then it makes no sense for her to put herself down. She said it herself. I'm nothing. You guys, what do you guys think about that? I think that was an interesting comment.
I think she was fishing.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
narcissists are first and foremost highly manipulative. Okay. And if they have to make some type of self-deprecating comment in order to manipulate somebody, they'll do it.
Right. And her saying that is not what she actually feels about herself. Her saying that is a way of calling out the other person because she knows that that's what they think of her.
And she's so much better than they give her credit for.
Right.
She's the hero, remember? She's the hero and the martyr.
Thank you, sexy wild thing, Carol freaking Claus. Okay, this is my first note, so I have to go here. Curious Jen, something really stuck out. Last night you were saying Tisha stopped her truck at a business that was a walking trail that has a walking trail and a river. Then today she said she's by a river, which I noticed that too. I'm by the river. They want my life. I might as well give them my life. Okay, Letecia, poor thing.
Yeah. So when she stopped her truck at a business that was a walking trail by the river, that was in Colorado Springs on Friday, January 31st. But when she's by a river talking to Albert, she's in Myrtle Beach on February 16th.
Still interesting though.
So here's that's when she said that she was sitting by the river, and that was when she first answered the phone, and she's just all mopey and like she's gonna, she's already tried screeching at him, she's tried guilt, she's tried sex, she's tried all of these things, and now it's time for like, oh, I need you to make me better, and that's then I'm gonna make you feel like a bit, she's tried like
every time
she's belittling him.
Yeah, she's gone with her strengths.
So now she's gonna give him
yeah. Go ahead.
Now she's gonna give him an opportunity to be her protector and make her feel better. And I need you to, I need you to help me. I need, I'm gonna play the delicate woman now, and I need you to wrap your big man arms around me.
Because that's how she snared him in the first place.
Right. Because he was her protector.
Now. Correct.
Right.
Now we've come full circle.
Right at the very beginning of their relationship, in a snowstorm, it was an ice storm. Letecia had him, drive through an ice storm to get to her because Travis had just busted down the door and beat her up. So he was the knight in shining armor that came to save delicate little Tisha. Now remember, 2010 Ken, where she jumped on his back and bit him and then set him up down the road, I'm not saying that anybody, I don't know if Travis really did that or not, but I did get the impression that Albert did not believe, because the way he phrased it, he was like,
yes,
when you said that Travis, he didn't say when Travis beat you up.
Right.
He said, when you said Travis beat you up. Right. And I was like, oh yeah, he doesn't believe it now.
Yeah. Also, can I just say one thing really quick before I forget? When that comment you highlighted of MK's, I say that all the time to people. If you don't do such and such, your feet stink and you don't love Jesus.
Oh, I didn't know that was like a thing. That made me laugh.
Yeah. I say that to people all the time. Whatever, you're a liar, your feet stink and you don't love Jesus. I say stuff like that all the time. That phrase is the one that I use. So it's just funny to see MK write it. MK, you do be making me laugh.
Thank you, Alma, so much. And you know what? Because we don't own them, but I'm kind of like this with anything I put out, period, whether it's information on a case that I've dug up, whether it's something I've talked to somebody and put that out, like those things with Letecia, whether it's anything, these calls, the case file, anything. That's why as soon as we paid for that case file, she posted it on our website once we got it organized and kind of figured out what we were going to do for everybody to use. There's no watermarks and all the songs in the background and all the things. As long as you don't use it to bash like me, my friends on panel with me, or the victim, then I think it should be used, right? Because the whole point of it is awareness and things like that. How do you get that if people don't share it and stuff like that? Because, you know, I'm not playing that game. I've had creators get mad at me for sharing their videos on my community tab, their own channel. So I don't like that stuff. I'd rather we just all share.
It's not about that for us, especially as it comes to this case. Because this is the first case. I mean, I've covered a ton of trials, but this is the first trial that I've ever covered with someone else other than the Todd Mullins trial. But when I covered that trial, it was already way over with and there were appeals. And I covered that with Teresa from Criminality. But as far as a current trial, an ongoing trial, this is the first time that I've covered it with Jen and Allie. And we were all invested, all of us girls on the panel, all of you guys in the chat, because I remember you guys coming to when I would stream the trial during the day. You guys came to, and, you know, I saw everybody in the chats at night when we would discuss the case. And we all three, it was very, very important to us that whatever information we could get from the case files, calls, whatever it was, that we share it with you guys, because we know that you guys have questions of your own, and some of you guys have the same questions we do.
Meowosaurus, we're actually just now getting started with our notes. We were just kind of chatting about Letecia and about things, about the calls, you know, so I don't think you have to go back. But you're right, Jen. We all have the questions. Okay, let me see. My next thing on my notes, I wrote, him telling her, "You're a school teacher, Tisha. You're a good mom." They're going to, you know, he was really, I was impressed. I'm sure he was coached. You know, we know he was coached. I'm sure he was coached on that particular part, but maybe not. But he was really trying to appeal to her side of, you won't be in the wrong. You know, you're a good person. You're a good mom. You're a school teacher, which how scary that she was a teacher at one point.
Yeah.
It's very scary that she is low-key. It's scary that she would be allowed around any human, if I'm being honest. Like I've said, she should be in a glass case with the warning label.
She said, I'm not any of those things anymore.
And see, that's, if you listen to that on its face, surface level, it sounds like she's upset or sad or putting herself down. But that's not really what she's doing. What she's really doing, this is just what I think. I think she's really doing is it's a ploy, and it's also a dig that she's not any of those things because Albert won't, you know, stick up for her. And you've never took my side on anything ever. Well, let me ask you this, Letecia, and this is what I want to ask her. One of the things, if Albert is so horrible and he's always been horrible, why the fuck did you marry him?
Yep.
You don't have kids together, so it ain't like there was some kind of shotgun wedding situation going on.
Yeah. She was bad news in Alaska. Oh, thank you so much, Lynette Burns. I'm trying to highlight that comment. And it won't highlight. I got to find it.
And I'm also not 100% convinced that Letecia is a true narcissist. I think she has some narcissistic tendencies, but I think she's all the cluster Bs.
Anonymous says, how about Al recalling to a day he went to T's house, and you kind of mentioned this, Curious Jen, a little bit. He went to T's house when she claimed Travis allegedly DV'd her. Curious if all that was staged. Pure charade to pull Al in. I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a long history of doing stuff like that.
That's in her wheelhouse. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Katrina, for being a member 4 months, and Legendary for being a member for 2 months.
So now Christina's got me wanting to go all the way back to Colorado Springs and go search that area on the trails and the river. I know that area so well. So well. In fact, I had to stay at an extended stay hotel. Okay, so there's the Extended Stay America, and then there's 2 other extended stay hotels that are right on that road right there. And so there are people coming and going from that area all the time. And you've got the woods and the trail and the river. It really would be a fantastic place to ditch something like a weapon. You know, if you've ditched other things in other places, I mean, it really would be a good place. So now I'm tripping.
Do we know what room she was in at the Extended Stay America?
I don't think so.
Is there a way we could find out?
There were 2 rooms, but
okay, but is there a way that we could find out where she was?
Possibly.
I would like
I would
to
have to find the item number.
Maybe we could link up with Mexi and do a little paranormal something in that room. See if she left any residual energy. Because Letecia, I'm telling y'all, Letecia is carrying a dark passenger. Something is bad, like more than, there's just evil in her, like extra evil. Like no redemption evil.
That level. Yeah, I agree. And
how are you going to adopt Clicker if you're supposed to be adopting me, knowing that you make the best snacks on the planet? She has the best snack ideas, you guys. The best.
Adopting you both. And you're right, Amber. She could have snapped on a student eventually. I mean, the manipulation that this is the thing. Little kids would be like Gannon and Lena and Harley. Like, think about an adult being manipulated by someone like her versus a child.
Well, what if she was even more sinister and she didn't straight out? And this is what I think is probably the most likely scenario, is that she wouldn't be overtly manipulative to the actual child. But what she would do is talk to the parents and say that the child was doing this, that, and the third. Because we know she's not above lying about what children do, i.e. Gannon and the knife situation. That's what I think she would do. I think she's sinister, and in that she would try to turn the parents against the child. There's something, I'm telling y'all, that chick has a dark passenger.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we could find out where she stayed and link up with Mexi and do some kind of paranormal research in whatever room that was, because I don't give a rat's fat kneecap how deep they clean that. You can't clean that residual energy unless you get somebody in there who knows what they're doing. And
yeah, that would be really cool. I would love to do that, and I'm sure he would do it if he could get down there, because I know they're invested in this case too. You know what I mean? Thank you, B Crumbs, and thank you, Carol freaking Claus, for gifting, and welcome you guys. And Alma, you said you subscribed to my second channel and remembered I have a frozen coffee in the freezer. Oh, I need to make some more of those. They are so good. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite snacks that you talked about. And there's something else that you made too a couple of times that I was like, oh.
Okay, what about Sally? Come on, girl. I would love that. What about when she says they've mapped out different ways I've killed someone? And then she goes, right after that, I'm so sick of hearing someone's dead. Someone. She kept saying someone, not Gannon. I noticed that. And then, oh my God, that just ran all through me. Did you guys hear that part?
Yes. Yes.
That's part of she said Gannon sometimes, but she was definitely distancing.
Yeah, just on this particular part, like she kept saying someone instead of Gannon.
Why are they saying someone is dead?
You know what I think I'm going to do as a side quest? Not now, but when we've uploaded all of them and talked about all of them, I think I might go through them and just count the number of times she actually refers to Gannon by his name.
Oh, that's a good idea.
In these calls, because I imagine that it's few and far between.
Yeah,
because she doesn't very rarely does it. Sorry, it's all right, babe. She very rarely does it.
It bugs me. She's done it a couple of times where she calls him Gannon. Sometimes she calls him Gannon Stauch, and other times she calls him Gannon Jacob Stauch, while she's talking to Albert and trying to make a point. And I don't know why, it just gets under my skin when she uses his full name like that.
Because she's doing it in anger. And she's used it, and it's the tone she uses it in. It's not like, like we're all moms, so we know when you use your kid's full government name, there's many different ways that you can use it. There's many tones that you can use it in. Like if your kid does something silly or whatever, and you say, Gannon Jacob Stauch, that's one way of saying it. But the way she said it, she spat each name out of her mouth. Gannon Jacob Stauch, like it was venomous. And that's why it goes all over you, because it's not in any type of endearing way or remembering who he is or what a wonderful little boy he was. None of that. It's all anger and venom. She's got big problems. Big problems.
She worked with disabled kids. Who's to say she hasn't already, and they can't speak to tell their story? That is just, unbelievable. Bunny didn't know she tried to escape. So yeah, she actually, she got in some major trouble. She's tried to escape twice, if we count the monster can as one, right? And then she measured herself, and she knew she could fit out the window.
I'm telling you right now, Letecia, spoiler alert, even if you'd have gotten the opportunity, your math is off. There's no effing way you would have fit through one of those windows. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Bundy had to go on he basically had just drank water. You can't completely starve yourself, right? Because the intent is not to be no longer living. The intent is to escape, and you can't escape if you're not alive, right? So he knew what he had to do, and he did it. He lost a tremendous amount of weight. He was very, very gaunt in order to do what he did.
Tony said, I've been listening, but I just hurt my spleen laughing at T having a dark passenger. Jen, you slay me. You hurt your spleen.
Don't hurt your spleen.
Alma, I'm a Virgo too, and I'm awful for that. Sorry, Jen.
That's right, you are. All my Minnie Bendy is a Virgo as well, and she is a detail-oriented person as well, particularly when it comes to relationships. She found something one time, and her boyfriend tried to say, no, that's not what I said to that person or whatever, and Emma busted out. I have the screenshot. I screenshot your whole messenger.
That's funny. A lot of anxiety comes along with that, though. You know what I mean? With that kind of stuff. Because, for me anyways, but with with needing to know everything, and I don't know, it's a whole thing. So Katrina, we have tried to verify, and she went to, I can't even, what is it? Liberty University, the online, it's an online school for her doctorate. And, they do post the list of graduates. She was actually going to get her doctorate, but she didn't do everything. And curious, Jen, you can say what she didn't do that last thing, because I don't remember the word, and every time I forget, and you just say it so beautifully.
So she claimed that she walked for graduation in Lynchburg, Virginia in May of 2013 for her doctorate. The issue is that she didn't, according to her, she did everything except for EDU 919 and defense, which means she didn't do her dissertation and she didn't defend her dissertation. And those are kind of the final steps in getting your doctorate. And if you don't do those things, you don't get a damn doctorate. So even though she went through all of the stuff except for that final part, what they do is they give you the degree, but they tack on a designation. So instead of, Dr. T EDD, it's they tack on ABD, which means all but dissertation.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't do the dissertation and defend it, then you don't have a doctorate. But because it's Letecia Stauch, there's a technicality.
Yeah,
so according to Letecia, she submitted her dissertation and the defense on Liberty University's website in a live text file under the last name Hardin, and it can be accessed. So technically, because she did submit it, the school should have removed her ABD. So it's their fault.
Of course.
It's their fault because, she has no respect for the rules and the way that you're actually supposed to do things. And she, so no, she doesn't actually have her doctorate, but in her mind, there's a technicality and it's their fault because she
Yeah.
did what she was supposed to do. She
Just
just
like
didn't do it,
just
My
like
favorite
Al.
part is when, oh, sorry, I have a
No,
little
go ahead.
delay. My bad. My favorite part is when Dr. Lewis called it out in front of
Yes,
Letecia.
she did. But just that was wonderful. But just like Al, he's to blame for Gannon's disappearance. Everyone else is to blame for everything. But you're right, Jen. That was such a moment when she's like, yeah, and I frankly don't believe that she had, I forget how she said it, but it was flat
She's
out.
like, you might want to look into that.
That's
Yeah.
what she's, yeah, because it was the shadiest way to put that. She's
Yeah.
not like directly calling her out, but she is calling her out, and I loved
Yes.
every minute of it.
She's
It
like,
was the best.
does she?
And then
But
Does
does
Michelle
she
and I,
though?
can we listen to the calls? So right now and I might play like a clip or two just so that we can comment on it. But the calls are like from today, from the 16th, because we're uploading them one day at a time. And today's calls are already available without any commentary on my channel. The 15th is available on Jen's. And if you access Curious Jen's website, actually, you can find everything really easily. So let me put that in the chat.
And I think what we'll do with these calls is they will all be uploaded to Jen's website. The links will be all be uploaded. But what we can do is make a playlist on our channel, and when you make a playlist on your channel, you can add other people's videos to that playlist.
Ooh, okay, that's cool. I didn't
So
know
we
you could
could do
I
that.
need to do some anyways for all my cases. Let me see what's else on my notes before I grab the call. Let's see. Oh, the Nicole from Fox 31. That was a pretty interesting part of this. And also, Al talking to her after that. And Nicole's like, well, the person who works with me that went to Quincy's house doesn't believe that he's involved. And she's like, well, here, let me read you the text. That was pretty interesting part.
And then when he told her about her number being spoofed, you could tell then she was like, oh, hell.
Yeah. And then when she says that his baby mama is involved, yet again blaming Landon. And then Al takes that and he's like, let's take her down. You can be better than her. Like, he's playing into that. Letecia's jealous as hell of Landon.
Yep.
And oh my God, how do you kill someone's child brutally? And I don't use little words over here. You guys know that. I'm not going to say, unalive or whatever. She brutally murdered that baby, period. There is no censoring that. That child went through hell. And I just think it's even disrespectful of me to try. So I'm not going to do that. But how do you do something like that? And then you're screaming and cussing at Al. Everything's his fault and blaming his mom, who was halfway across, all the way across the country.
I must be way off base because when Nicole said baby mama, I really thought she was talking about Quincy's baby mama. I'm going to have to listen to that part
No, at
again.
one point, I think Letecia says to Al, your baby mama's part of this or something like that. And he's like, well, then let's take her down. I'll check on your liberty status, y'all, and report back. The president is from AK and hold on. Her liberty status. Oh, okay. Hold on, Clicker got a thing, but I got to scroll down because I've seen it pop up at the top. Oh, thank you, Molly Henry. Thank you so much. And I'm missing a bunch of comments. I'll check on her liberty status, y'all, and report back. The president is from AK and friends with my mom.
Ooh,
that's pretty cool, Clicker.
That's pretty cool. Thank you, Clicker. Because we're tired of we want to put this portion of Letecia's lies to bed.
Yeah, I would love that.
Because she's the worst.
Let's see. The dissertations is an intrinsical part of any PhD program. No dissertation, no PhD. Thank you, Mrs. O.
Except for Letecia. You're not listening. It's everybody else's fault. What's the matter with everybody today?
Then
Hi,
she goes
I know it works that way for everyone else in the world, but I'm Letecia Stauch.
Yeah. Correct.
Exactly. Then she goes, back to this cool parent bullshit. And, at one point she's like, I was being, a cool parent. We were acting all crazy. And Gannon fell and got hurt. That's where all the blood came from. Mm-hmm.
I don't have commentary for that. It's such poppycock that I can't even. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Well, and back to the reporter thing, what I did, last night I was talking about the reporter thing, and I obviously screwed up and added that to yesterday's calls. But the thing that stuck out to me the most about the reporter is, remember that Letecia presented this reporter as her investigative reporter that was working with her and her fake ass attorney that didn't exist. Whether that was Jose Baez or another one or whoever it was. I mean, Letecia didn't have any attorney by any name, and nobody hired an investigative reporter. But Letecia presented it as, Nicole is on my side and she's working for us. She's working for me. And, so Jose Baez is on her side. People Magazine is on her side. And Nicole Fierro from Fox 31 is on Letecia's side. And so when Albert first starts talking to this Nicole lady, he's just like, and so is that part of your job description, to go knock on a sex offender's door? Because he's just not buying it. And he's kind of shitty to Nicole at first because of the way that Letecia has presented her to him. You know what I mean? And I get that, I mean, Al's
it's
probably
understandable.
Like, are you even a real reporter? Like, I mean,
right. At this point, he's questioning everything.
Yeah.
Well, and look at the way Letecia brings all these other people in to try and back up her story. She did it with Nicole Mobley, although she hasn't done it yet at, the February 16th mark. But she also has a long history of doing that, pulling people in and saying, look, I just need you to tell my husband this. You know? So, but, that got, then he ended up, being a little bit nicer, but I understand why he was so standoffish with her.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Letecia thinks that, I wonder if Letecia really doesn't know how an investigative reporter works. I mean, like the difference between her and a PI, or, I mean, the reporter is, I mean, you might be the subject, but they're not working for you. I assure you.
No,
I don't think that Letecia ever thought that there would be a follow-up with that. Like, I don't think she thought that that would be somehow come out. Do you see what I'm saying? I think I do think she thought maybe she could get that one by him.
Yeah.
Any day now, she'll claim Mark Garagos as her new lawyer. Exactly.
Oh, bless it.
I saved a couple more comments, and then I'll play a clip or two, and we'll kind of wrap it up semi-early tonight. That way you guys can rest, I can rest, and we can be ready for Jen's tomorrow. Music City
If
Mom
she
says,
tries to rope... Oh, sorry. There's a delay. Sorry. If she tries to rope the poot in and claim that he's her new lawyer, her new appellate lawyer, I'm quitting the internet.
Music City Mom, where did she get her fashion degree from? I want to avoid that school. Mrs. O says, I forgot rules don't apply to her. This was interesting. Chulu Del Rey says, I'm sorry, I'm behind. I think she ditched the weapon on the drive from Colorado to South Carolina. Curious what you guys think about that.
It's entirely possible.
I thought so too. Dreamscape says, what was the nosebleed story? So the one that I've heard, well, when I've heard her talk about it, I'm sure there's a couple, but I know once she talks to, I think it's Grusing, about Gannon and how he's always bleeding. He has nosebleeds all the time. That's, why there's blood all over the house and wiped on the light switches. That's what I think they were talking about, the light switch at that moment, but on the walls and stuff like that. But is there another nosebleed story? Or is that it?
I think that might be it. I think all the other bleeding stories come from picking his burns, picking his fingers, and the head injury. And then essay.
Okay, Pam. Have a good night, babe. Yeah, the essay.
Mm-hmm. She's just a lying liar, mouth who tells lies.
Yep, and the foot.
Oh, and the foot. I forgot about the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know the part that I was talking about earlier where she's like, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm stupid? And then she tried to say that that's why she lied and played crazy. And so she set it up, to explain, why she told him all those lies, which was really just a setup for her to tell him the next lie, which was, you were right, it was an accident. We went into Petco the second time because I realized I forgot I left Gannon's phone in Petco. So I was in Petco the second time, and when I came back out, he was gone. And it was just an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I am so glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Me too.
So that's yet another version of the story, only this time, there's a bad guy, but she doesn't talk about who the bad guy is. It's not Eduardo, Quincy, Cash Belly, Quinguardo.
Quinguardo.
Right. It's an unnamed person, but in this way, her saying it was an accident and putting it on herself, she feels like somebody who leaves the baby in the car.
Right.
But she's still not the bad guy.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Which is weird because if you are a person that leaves the baby in the car, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if then you go home and report him as a runaway and put it on him.
Right.
From the house and then that's why her GPS was all over the place up there in the days that followed, because she was out there looking for him. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I forgot all about that, but that is so frustrating that, I feel like one of those people that leaves their kids in a hot car. No, bitch, you did far worse than that. I don't know who the hell you're fooling yourself, but that just, she makes me angry, y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's a runaway, and then it was Eduardo the carpet guy, and then it was Quinguardo the carjacker who was laying down on the road, and then it was Quinguardo the guy off of Craigslist because I just wanted to buy you a bike.
Yeah.
You know who else used a guy on the side of the road needing help? Diane Downs.
Oh.
And she almost tells the story in much the same way that Letecia does. And she said, because people wanted to know why she was out on the road by herself with 3 kids in the middle, at night, it was dark. Why would you stop and pull over for anybody? And she says, much like what Letecia said, I wanted to help. I forgot about that when she said that yesterday, because my brain went immediately to Diane Downs.
Yeah.
I like to help people. Okay.
It's one of the things the calls are really helping me with, the way that we're doing them, played unadulterated in their entirety, day by day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a chapter of the stories that Letecia told, right? And I didn't have that one in there. And now that I've heard it again, I remember that it's there. It's so easy to pass right by it. And I think that at that point, because was that part new, or did we hear that in trial? Because I somehow missed it if it was there.
Which part?
That the story where she came out of Petco the second time and Gannon was just gone.
No.
But she had to go ahead and go home because, Lena was about to come home.
I don't know.
I don't think that was in court. I don't recall that.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, I feel like I would have picked it up. God knows I picked up everything else.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing it, but also I've noticed with certain things in this, there's just so much like it feels like, or maybe I'm listening and doing something at home and Bentley needs me for a second or whatever, and I'll miss certain things. So I don't
Mhm.
remember hearing that, but I know that we heard so many different versions of what happened.
Right.
I just wouldn't say for sure. But Juju Bone says their essay. Sorry, I didn't follow Gannon closely. I found it late in the case. So, um, during Leticia's trial, we never heard that there was any essay from the coroner or the medical examiner. We did hear from Leticia's doctor that the defense's witness that there might be a possibility of that. She believes there would be a possibility of that kind of thing. Maybe that's what she was doing with the enemas. But in Leticia's many different versions of events, that is a factor that is oftentimes there in her story. And so that's what we were talking about. She has said at one point that he was bleeding from that. Let me see. I got a couple other comments I think are good, and then we'll listen to a clip. But she tells Al he had a nosebleed in his truck. Oh, this one. Gracie, she says, I pick my finger too. Thinks ADHD, and I'm not bleeding all over, but you better believe I'll pick every piece of skin till my fingers are red raw, then pick some more. And with Gannon's ADHD, I just think that's interesting. She also had the nerve to say to Al that Gannon would be so upset with the way she is being treated. Carbon
Right.
Footprint says,
Yeah.
okay, this is interesting. She also told on herself when she said if she hadn't saved Gannon from the fire, he would still blame her. Like Jin Lu said, the fire was a setup to unalive him. And then there was another one that kind of, there we go. Two other ones that kind of follow this same line of thought. Tisha mentions Gannon threw up during one of her stories. That made my heart sink because that means he very likely did, and she was afraid they'd possibly find that evidence and need to explain it away. And then Christina says, do you think she was telling some of the injuries in case he was found? And yes, I do. I believe that she was telling some, I don't know if that's why, but I believe that it could have been, or she could have been telling some of his injuries just accidentally. What do you guys think?
So the part where she said that he threw up in the truck, that was during Quinguardo version 1.0, which was he fell off the bike. Well, no. Yeah, no, it was version 1. So version 1.0 is that the guy was laying in the road and then they were basically carjacked and Gannon was in the back seat and he was so upset that he threw up. But they didn't find any evidence of blood or vomit or anything in the truck at all. So I don't know. Sorry, my
They were
dog definitely wants to play right now.
I think that there are some injuries that Letecia described, not that didn't happen. Like, for example, the box cutter, where she said that Gannon cut his foot on the box cutter. I have a feeling that you can use it depends on the kind of box cutter you have. And I don't recall seeing a picture of the exact box cutter that was in their house. But there are box cutters that you can use that you can use to cut carpeting with. And if you cut carpeting that already has blood on it, then there's a good chance that you're going to get that blood on that carpet, on that box cutter, right on the blade. So it could be that that's the explanation why she talked about Gannon cutting his foot, because in case they did find a box cutter and it had his blood on it, because I think her mind was racing so much that there are some details that she probably was second guessing, like, did I get rid of that box cutter? Or did I get rid of this? Did I get rid of that? You know what I'm saying? Like running through a checklist. And then I think she thought that she would have more time before they came, like looking through the house, but they didn't. I mean, yes, initially when she made the report, they came out and they did a cursory check, but there was not a whole lot of time for her to be alone and get things together, thankfully, in order to for her to have like a moment where she just was able to just like sit and figure things out. It was very rushed. But anyway, I think that's really more what she was doing. She was giving excuses and injuries, not excuses. She was giving injuries to match maybe what potential evidence they might find. And I also think part of it too was her fishing. She would throw out something and then based on Al's response, try to figure out if it's something that the investigators had talked to him about. That's the majority of what she was doing, those two things.
I agree.
Well, and there was another time when she told on herself when she said that Gannon had busted his nose and his mouth, and that's why she didn't want him to go to school. That's why she didn't let him go to school.
Yes.
Is because he had a busted nose and mouth. And I was like, ooh, that's probably true. There was there was probably no stomach issue. I mean, no, there was probably a stomach issue because, I do think that she fed him full of Miralax and then blamed him for the accident in his pants.
I wonder if that was true because you're right. We know he didn't go to school and we know her knuckles were bloody. We know all kinds of things that would lead me to believe that likely could have been true.
Yeah, and her saying that he busted his nose and his mouth because, from when they put the beds together and they were playing around and jumping around, and that was supposedly after the hike. So you're telling me that he has an accident twice on the hike and his stomach is so upset, and then after that you're putting the beds together because you're going to let him have a friend over and spend the night, and while he's jumping around having a good time, he busts his nose and his mouth. And that's why he couldn't go to school the next day. I don't think she meant to say that. I think that was an accident.
I do think I think you're right. I think that was 100% an accident. It goes back to what we all suspected, that the candle has something to do with something that occurred prior. The candle, in our opinions, I think all of us not 100% agree on her method of it, but that the candle has something to do with covering up something that happened before. Some type of, we've all, I think, suspected that she was physical with him.
Right. And him jumping on the beds when the beds are pushed together and busting his own nose and mouth is probably a different version of the same thing that she was trying to cover up when she said that she jumped on him from the fire.
Yes. Oh, yes. And
oh my God. Same thing, different. Yeah.
That would explain why he'd have a busted nose and mouth. TK says, I wonder if she smashed the candle in his face. God, that is so hard to even say out loud. The neat noodle, she busted his nose and mouth and didn't want to be found out. And let's see. Wait, something just popped into my head. Wait, you know what? I just thought about that. With that video, Gannon's like in the dark. When she goes to talk to Gannon, he's in the dark and she doesn't show him. You know what I mean? In the video. Mm-hmm. Something just popped in my head with the video. With the candle incident that was leaked, Gannon says, I am just worried about the burns. So was he less worried about his nose and mouth being busted and more concerned about the burns? That would make sense.
That would make sense.
I think that I'm going to try. I've never been 100% convinced that Gannon said my. There's a part of me, there's like a small percentage of me that thinks he says the. And I think that there's something wrong about the wax on the couch. Because it's also in the police report. I'm not the only person who saw the wax on the couch and thought that there was something wrong with it. There is a report from one of the officers who talks about the candle wax on the couch, and it doesn't look spilled. It looks dripped, as if somebody intentionally, and when somebody knocks over a candle, wax splatters, it scatters. It does a very different arrangement if it's poured.
Right, but if the candle's burning and she drips wax on the counter and then puts the candle on the ground with the blankets above it so it'll catch fire while he's actually sleeping, then That's her staging the scene so that she can say he knocked over a candle.
Right,
So
but the
in that
candle
case,
wax.
she would have.
But if Gannon was on the couch, the candle wax is on the couch cushion where Gannon would have been laying, so he would have been laying on top of candle wax.
Unless, I don't know.
See,
unless,
that wouldn't make sense. If Gannon, if she were,
probably did that after.
See, there is something with that candle there, you guys. I just don't think we have it quite 100. We don't have it quite right yet. So
See, we've talked about him saying that before, and you've always said that since day one, that you don't think he says my burns. I heard my burns when we re-listened, but honestly, it's so fuzzy and unclear. You know, it could be. That's a good point about the wax being where he would be laying, but isn't it possible that she would go afterwards to stage the scene if that's what she wanted it to look like, or you know what I mean?
But then what Jen is saying is that then she set the candle on the ground next to, conveniently close to the blanket, in an attempt to have it catch fire, right? I think something else happened. Do I think she went back and staged it? Yes. But I think the staging happened after she was physical with him. And I don't know. I'm missing a piece, and I probably will never know, and it will probably drive me, batty till the end of my days. But all I know for certain about that candle is that the candle plays an integral part in something happened first, and the candle, in my opinion, is integral and was used to cover up the first situation, the first incident. It might be that Jen and I are both right, and that she tried multiple things, and that's why it looks the way that it does.
Absolutely. I could so see her doing that too, freaking out, panicking, trying multiple things, doing all kinds of shit, running around crazy. Listen to the phone calls. We're going to listen to this part here for a minute. And then, but Kaylin says, let's do a candle experiment. And I know other people have kind of tried to do that, but maybe we should do it our own way. I have a whole table full of candles because I'm candle crazy, and I have some from summertime that I'm not burning anymore because I'm doing more deep rich scents right now, like caramels and vanilla and stuff like that, to go with my wax melts from Nay, which if y'all haven't tried those, you should check them out.
I've been perusing her fall and winter scents, and I have my eye on a few that when we get paid, I would like to order.
I'm going to do the same exact thing as soon as we get paid. But you want to do an experiment? You guys, we can, anybody.
We should. And the only way to do it, not the only way, the best way to do it is we're going to have to recreate it under the same conditions, meaning it has to be the same size candle, roughly with the same amount of wax in it. Otherwise, we're going to get a different result, and we should try to replicate the length of the wick. As we should try to get our candle to be as close to identical as the candle that she used.
Yeah, I agree. Let me grab what photos I can grab really quickly. I know I've got a bunch in my folder, but I'm just going to Google Letecia Stauch candle, and let's see what pops up really quickly. And then I want to play this one particular clip, or one particular part of the video. Let's see if I can get any images of it. I'm going to have to go back in my folder, I think, but I've got the image of it with the sock in it, the wax on the couch. I remember we actually looked at one not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Letecia Stauch. Photos from, was it in the arrest affidavit?
Do Letecia Stauch crime scene candle.
Okay. Letecia tries to escape jail, somebody put. There's the video recording. I'll just find my pictures. I'll find them in a second. Let's listen to this really fast, though.
Okay.
I'm not making y'all wait.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your number so I can call you back in just a minute once you get that.
Yeah, absolutely. 720.
Okay.
926.
Okay.
2842.
2842. Okay, so yeah, how long do you think that'll take you to get that information?
I'll text my coworker like right now, and as soon as she gets back, if you want to shoot me a text so that I can send it to your number.
Yeah, I'll just call you back.
So I wonder.
It's like that again, and I just don't believe it.
Hold on.
Point where it was Quincy Brown. He did it, and I believe that because I don't believe you would do bad things like that again, and I just don't believe it. So once we got to that point, okay, that Quincy did whatever he did and took him from the house, that's what we have to go with. And you're the last person that had
I already told you all this, and then what did you do? You yelled at me, told me it was not true, and hung up on me.
Tisha, my son's out there somewhere. You gotta understand a little bit that I'm frustrated, that I have no information, and I'm trying to sort through everything that's being thrown at me from every direction, okay? I mean, of course I'm gonna get upset. Okay, because you told me some things you said were not true. Okay, of course I'm going to get upset when I'm getting told things that aren't true about my son, and he's missing, and he's gone, and he's hurt, and all these things. So yes, I'm going to get upset today. I'm beyond that. Just want to have a conversation and try to figure out if you can remember anything about this guy, even if it's a guess. Call it speculation. Because a guess is probably going to be right on the money.
I don't have any guesses, Albert. I don't have any.
Did they find anything at his house yesterday?
It was the investigative reporter that went there.
Did she do anything with that information?
You haven't done anything. You haven't. I give you what you want, and you didn't do anything.
No, you didn't tell me his address. You didn't tell me where he was at.
You would have. Oh, okay. If you would have told the police, and the police would have went there, the police be investigating instead of digging in ditches, telling the world, "Hey, we believe Gannon's alive," and digging the ditch. They're fucking horrible for doing that. They're horrible.
So you're saying they're still barking up the wrong tree?
As a parent, I can't even stand to even look at people digging ditches.
Well, as his father, how do you think that makes me feel?
It must not make you feel any type of way, because I would be my ass on them for not doing their job.
What? But this is.
You said yourself how horrible they've been.
Yeah, and I'm not going to change that, okay? But the question I have, when you get so fired up about digging in ditches, okay, that means he's alive if they're not digging and looking for him.
No, you know what it means? Yeah, I'm sick of people telling me that there isn't a God. I'm sick of it because I've heard that shit for damn 5 days.
That what?
I'm sick of people. I'm sick of people saying there isn't a God. Hey, first off, I'm tired of it. So all these fucking people in Colorado, from Denver and fucking wherever the hell they're at. Sorry, I'm saying cuss words and talking about God, but I'm tired of all of them saying that, because if there is anything I say, oh, well, why do you think that? God does let bad things happen to people. So it doesn't matter what I say to you, but I know that Gannon was not building his box for his child for no reason.
Box for his
and
what?
I'm not going to let go of that. His child, his little memory box that he always puts stuff in. Every time he goes in there and he puts a piece of paper in it and says he's saving it for his son. I'm not giving up that. That is why he did it, because it's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
I'm not giving up on that.
This is what 82 days of no sleep sounds like.
You said something that you're not giving up, that it's going to happen. Even him coming home?
That he's going to have a son to give this box to. What are you talking about?
Okay, I didn't understand what you meant. I'm sorry.
I'm sick of people not believing in God and not being. I'm tired of people saying
Why come?
Because he's thinking like Anna was thinking. He wouldn't be saying evil on people. He wouldn't be saying, hey, they did this and did that. He would not be saying.
Okay, so we're going to pause here. And number one, Letecia, acting like she cares. Do you know how hard it is as a parent to see this? And then we have the why come thing, which is just, you're supposed to be so close to having your doctorate and you don't understand that it's how come?
Yeah.
But I found.
I'm telling y'all right now, this is a damn demon talking. That's all I can say to you. I've never heard anybody I've heard each and every one of these words in my lifetime, but I've never heard anybody put these words together in this order to try to explain what happened to an 11-year-old, because that was the question that Al asked her, and this is her answer. She's tired of people not believing in God. She's tired of people saying that God lets bad things happen. That's probably not what they said. What they said is God doesn't interfere with free will, and that is true. But idiot.
And let's
She's an
talk
idiot.
about her, which I agree with you. This is what no sleep sounds like. She makes no fucking sense. But also, she's commenting about this box that, and Curious Jen had talked about this before too, that Gannon was making for his son. Gannon was such an emotional, sweet, loving little bundle of joy. You know what I mean? He was just, what 11-year-old is thinking like that? You know what I mean?
I have to say that is very rare for an 11-year-old boy. It really is. I've raised two of them, and I don't remember them ever talking about a future with children when they were children.
Yeah, me neither. Mine don't either. Jen, do you have anything before I show? Because I think we could do a whole entire live just reacting to all the photos and stuff and clips I shared from trial. There is so much stuff here that I've kind of forgotten about. But yeah, do you have anything else about that clip before I go? Here's the couch.
No, I have this image in my mind of Albert and Gannon having a conversation about how he's going to be an adult one day and he's going to have a son and he'll have to have these kind of talks with his son, and it just breaks my heart. That's all.
It's awful. It's truly awful. Bunny, I have 4 boys. They haven't done anything like that. He's just such a sweet, oh my God, loving little child. So here's the couch. We can see the wax somewhat right here. And then here's the mark on the floor. Let me see. Do I go this way or no? This way. This is, the floor. There's the dumpster where they recovered the candle from. And then the candle is coming up. I wish we should try to get there's the candle there, but we should try to get the pictures from the courthouse. They'd be much better. But here's the candle. Let me see. There was a couple other things I wanted to flip through and show you guys though. Oh my God. Are you serious? Hold on. I've got so many things here. Oh, look at Harley and Gannon. Come on, load for us. Why come? I don't know why that's so blurry. Is that?
It's probably because, your
Internet.
I don't know. Internet.
There's the suitcase coming in. I'm going to go. Hold on.
Oh, look, there's Samara.
Yeah. But yeah, I think if we got the actual pictures, that would be much better. But
yeah, ideally, if you're going to recreate, and the only reason why I know this and I'm so is because remember Michael Peterson from The Staircase? Okay. Yeah. Part of what got him the Alford plea is the way that, oh Jesus, that is oh wow. You see, that is a straight demon right there, y'all. Straight demon.
It is a demon. Look there. Oh my God, this
She
lady.
looks like she has some kind of wild rabid animal on the top of her head. And what are the two hairs
I know.
just hanging down for?
Melissa made this one. This is after she said the Twilight thing and was talking about she's.
Oh my God.
I made that one of her sitting on the
That's
bed.
that's what that woman was wearing in American Horror Story. Jen, this is what we were trying to describe to y'all, this cape type Little Red Riding Hood, but in black.
There we go. Hey, look, this one I took a picture of her sitting and waiting on the judge at court, and I cut it out and put it on the bed. But let me show y'all this. This is heartbreaking. This is Letecia's sister shared this in 2020 on her Facebook, and it came back up in the trial. And Crime Curious actually got it from over here, True Crime, and gave it to me. So it's a letter to Letecia from Gannon to Tisha from G-Man. Happy Mother's Day. I love you, Tisha, so much. You are the best stepmom ever. I'm so happy that Daddy met you. What can I do without you? Tell Daddy I love him so much. Love you. God, that makes me angry and sad.
Remember, we talked about this when it happened, and I said that after Gabriel Fernandez's murder, they went back to his school to collect, to speak to his teachers and stuff. It was part of the investigation against not only his mother and stepfather, but also CPS.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Mother's Day note for his mom in his desk. And it said pretty much the same thing. I love you so much.
That's so freaking sad.
It is.
I don't know Black Knight because I'm thinking this was sent in the mail if I'm not mistaken, and he was with his mom, but I might be wrong. But
she that bun on top of her head looks like a rabid animal.
I know. Let's see what else. Oh, there's Al glaring her down. I remember that. He was, glaring her down. Let me see. I don't know why I took those. Did you accidentally hurt him in a physical way? This is the lie detector test.
Her lie detector test.
Yeah. In the case of involving your stepson, Gannon, did you something and harm him in any way? Did you murder your stepson? Do you know personally who is involved with your stepson's disappearance?
See,
your timeline is excellent.
It is. The messed up part about this whole lie detector test is Letecia is the one who came up with the questions and the answers. Okay. Yep. Then when they didn't give her the results because they can't, because she asked about a crime, then she calls the place and lies and says that she asked about her questions were about infidelity. She doesn't know what this murder and stepson, what this poppycock is all about.
What? No, it was
it was about infidelity and cheating. This is a murder. My stepson. This is I don't know what. That's crazy talk. Customer service agent, you're crazy.
When she was saying that it was actually about infidelity and that the questions that she asked, she dropped a name in that conversation with the guy from fakepolygraph.com, and the name that she dropped was Ortega. She said that the question that she asked was about infidelity in another state, and then she mentioned the name Ortega, and that was one of the men in Alaska that she accused of sexual harassment.
Okay, I was going to say, was she grocery shopping? Because yes, Ortega is a legitimate last name, but it's also a brand of Mexican food that you buy at the grocery store. They have salsa, they have taco, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and she made it sound like she was doing a lie detector about infidelity to prove to Albert that she didn't actually sleep with Ortega, that he just sexually harassed her, and that was the truth.
Please tell me, Allie, that somewhere in your clips that you have that sound bite of Icked Mel going, Tisha!
Oh,
It's my
know
favorite. It's
No, I
my
do.
favorite.
I know I
If
do.
I could make that shit a ringtone, I would.
I'll have to find it. I know I've got it in here. I've got so much stuff. If we run across it, then we run across it. But if not, we'll
This is
do
the
a live
picture I
stream.
used to make the thumbnail for yesterday's when I made
love
her.
that picture.
Yeah, I cropped Gannon out of it because I personally think his look in that picture is so sweet. It's so innocent. It's everything that a child should be.
Yes,
Hers
it is.
on the other side is a damn demon.
I'm sorry.
You see how she's looking here? Something is wrong with her.
Yes, she does look like a demon, and he looks so beautiful and perfect and innocent. And I guess like you're seeing my screen 20 seconds, a few seconds behind.
Yeah,
me.
because I'm looking at the TV and not at the phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not trying to stress these old ojos.
I love that picture of Gannon. That one's Curious
I do
Gene's
too.
favorite. I remember that. Wait, there's her ex. Let me see. We'll just flip through a couple more. Oh God, look at that face. She was glaring one eyebrow up at somebody. I don't remember. She effed with the wrong state with Alaska. Thank you, Clicker.
That's when the Dubuque is talking for her on that day in court. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, there's she. Let's see. Oh, here's Al. And
it must have been shampooed on that other picture. It must have been shampoo day. They must have forced her to wash her hair because it looks decidedly less greasy. And I do remember when that day happened in court that I also commented that day, oh, look, homegirls washed her hers.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, pecking her nose. It's a good look, Letecia.
You guys, if you didn't watch the trial with us, we have so much stuff that like so many little clips and all kinds of stuff. So we should maybe do that sometime. Just go through it.
We should.
Yeah, because there's a lot. I want to stop, but I can't stop because I know there's going to be something else stupid that she's done. Hold on. Let's see. What was this one?
You know, sometimes I like to go back to pictures of people who've committed crimes way, years and years before they actually committed crimes, the actual crime, you know, to go look at their older pictures and to see if they have those nothing eyes. And you know what?
What?
I have to tell you guys, Letecia does. She has nothing eyes.
We're going to go back to her picture in a second then because, I have it right here. I'll just play this clip. We'll see what it is, and then I'll stop, and we'll
Please
come
let
back
it
to
be
this.
Oh, no, it's not Tisha because I don't see Iked Mel.
I know.
It's
I
my
wonder
favorite
what it is.
one.
Then. Let's see.
Let's hear it.
So, Dr. Lewis, what can we do to make sure that you're here and ready to go at 1:20? What do you
This is
need?
the Dr. Lewis lecture.
Right.
Hold up. Look at Iked Mel. I don't know why I cropped that like that, but he's like, I thought I had it was with the Iked Mel one, but no. Yeah, I'll just come. Oh, yeah. Here she is giving Dr. Lewis dabs. Like, what in the hell? Thank you, Anonymous. Side note, FBI Gruesing was 100. Yes, he was the bomb. Fun fact, he also interrogated Barry in Suzanne's case. Pretty sure Allie's channel covered that too. I did, but when I went through that affidavit, which I was planning on getting that back out before we got these calls and going through it again, and I'm still going to do that. But when I did, I didn't know Gruesing like we know him now, so I didn't notice like many of the names. Sometimes I'll notice names that are in the Watts case as well with like CDI.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now with Suzanne's, I bet you will notice a few in that because I think, remember, we wanted to do the affidavit of
yes,
Brian Laundrie, and I think Barry's would be a good one as well to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But this of Dorothy Lewis and her doing what in the world?
Dorothy, listen, Dr. Lewis, I know that this was just, I think this was just a mistake on your part as far as career choices and interviewing her. I mean, you're retired, whatnot. It's whatever. I'm not even going to judge you at this point.
Yep.
But I wouldn't touch Letecia with anybody's fist.
No.
Never mind my own. I wouldn't even want to stand next to this woman in line at Walmart.
No, I agree. Let me see.
I'll be right back. I gotta switch laundry.
Do not want to
Okay.
breathe the same air as her. So here she is in 2003. Let me zoom in on her face some.
I feel like the evil would just, you see how they're
Yeah, they do.
blank.
They look kind of just like blah. You know what I mean? Just
They're flat. There's no sparkle. And I know that it's a black and white photo, but there are other pictures of Letecia too, like with Al. And especially when they're close-up pictures, Al has a sparkle to his eyes that Letecia doesn't have. I call them the nothing eyes.
she definitely.
Some
I see
people
it.
call them shark eyes. There's nothing there. Vacant.
Here, you guys. I'll show you a few pictures of Gannon before we wrap
I
it
would
up.
love to know how that X got on the top of her head like that.
I know. I would
Okay,
love-
that's going to be my lead-in. I'm going to message that woman on getting out, and that's the question I'm going to ask Letecia. Look, I don't want to know nothing else, but how did that X get on top of your head?
Yeah. Danish girl, the gel call, so the file cost $300. The pretext calls cost, what did they cost, Jen? I don't remember the pretext calls.
294, I think they were.
And I think
84.
every batch of things is around 300, even so for each month of the gel calls. So like around 300 for say August or whatever, But let me show you guys a couple pictures of Gannon. This is Gannon as a preemie. Look at him.
Aww.
I know. Here he is, literally still in the incubator. Gannon Jacob, September 29th, 2008, 9:32 a.m., 1 pound, 6 ounces, 12 inches long.
I have a picture of my oldest son like that first picture you showed of Gannon, and and it's a Polaroid. And the reason why we took it and thought it was so funny is because he's flipping the bird too.
I got one. That's so funny because I have the same exact kind of one of Bentley in the car seat even.
Yes, there's something about preemies and that middle finger. I don't know what it is because the other kiddos didn't do it, but the preemies seem to want to flip the bird more than anybody.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I didn't know that. I'll have to grab that picture. Here's
I'll have
little.
to find the
look
one
at
of
him here.
look at him and his little grow bulb.
He's so
Bless his little
cute.
heart.
He would be 15. My God.
Oh, look, this is a good one too. I'm behind, so
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
this is the one with him and Landon. He's so cute. Look how happy he is. See, this is I'll have to show you, Allie, some pictures of my youngest son, and you'll understand why. Gannon has just stolen my heart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want to see Jen. But that's so interesting because I also see him in my son. It's weird how we've, and I've gotten so many comments that say that, my son was born at this time as well, or my son loved Sonic when this happened, or my son is so obsessed with his Switch, and like people really connect with this case like that. I just
Gannon,
love
I'm telling y'all, Gannon, all children and all human beings on some level are special, right? But some children have just something extra, and I have a feeling that had Gannon lived, he would have done great things.
Oh yeah,
we would have been hearing about Gannon in the news, but in a good way.
Yep, I agree. She robbed the world, really, but
she did. Thanks, Letecia.
Here's Al and Gannon as a little baby. He still had his little feeding thing.
My little one used to rip that out. He hated that dadgum feeding tube.
Bentley hated it too, but he didn't have it long. Like he was born 8 weeks early, and we were only in the NICU for like 10 days. He was such a champ.
We were there for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
But considering that he weighed 2 pounds 4 ounces, that's not bad.
No, it's not, because Bentley was a little bigger. He was 4'9".
Yeah.
2 pounds. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was a little dot. He was a little
He was.
button.
He was highly sensitive, Mal. Oh my God, this is like one of my most favorite. Of
This
him in
is
the
my
car.
favorite too. This one
Wait,
is my favorite.
You're
I'm
behind
looking
me.
at it. No, I'm looking in current time. This is him at the steering wheel. This is my
Yes.
favorite.
Oh my God.
This is my
he's such a
favorite.
Babe, look at him.
He's just so happy.
I know. Beautiful, beautiful child, man. And then the last one I'm going to show you guys tonight, and we'll go through. I have so much stuff on this, you guys. I mean, so much. Actually, I'm going to show you 2 more because this is another. Oh my God. What did I do? No, Letecia. No. Hold on. I'll get right back to it because I know where we're at. We have so much though on this. I think that we really should do a sit down and go through some of these because yeah, look at this one. It's beautiful.
Oh, I love this one.
And then the last one I was going to show you is he has a friend who, let me go to it. His mom posted on Facebook.
Oh, yes, yes.
Uh-huh. Let me see. I had it, but there it is. This is Caden Alford is playing in memory of one of his best friends tonight, Gannon G-Man. One of his best friends, Gannon G-Man, tonight. And this was April the 10th of this year. And so here he is with Gannon's, with that on his cheek, and then him and Gannon on the right, which I thought that was
Because Gannon would have been 15 this year. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would have been
gosh.
in high school and having the time of his life.
Yep. But you guys, I don't know if y'all have seen all of those, but we have a bunch more too. And I don't know, you learn, you like grow to love him. You know, I don't know, poor baby. That evil ass bitch. The only thing is, at least she will never walk free again. But honestly, I don't even feel that's payment enough.
I don't either, but I will say this. Regardless of what you believe, I think most people believe that there's something out there that's bigger than us, that, you know, and I think that for me personally, I believe that the universe has an excellent way of balancing the scales all the time. And the universe will punish Letecia in whatever way the universe sees fit. But rest assured, she will face judgment that is not judgment from man, if that makes sense. She'll have to answer for this.
You're right.
In multiple ways, probably over multiple lifetimes, if I'm being honest.
You're right. Clicker says, Alex Bendy, Crime Curious, thoughts about taking a collection for Landon next Mother's Day and sending something on behalf of all of us who keep his memory alive. I would love to do that anytime.
Yeah.
I was even thinking, because of these calls and we didn't do that fundraiser, maybe I should turn one of these calls into that.
We can. Yeah, you're the only one that can do that, though. I can't do
That's
that yet.
okay.
Come on, y'all. Y'all got to get me, like, I think I'm at 5,500. We only need, what, 4,500 more to go?
Yes.
And I'll be at 10,000, and then I can do the charity ones, because I love doing a fundraiser.
I do too. And I think that, you know, I just think it would only be right to give back a little bit, like, in my opinion.
Yes,
it would feel right.
We both feel that same way. I think just generally speaking, the cases that we cover, these are people that are no different, the crimes that not the criminals, the people, the victims of the crimes, their families are no different than us, you know, and they're just regular, everyday, average people who are going to work and paying their bills and doing all the things that we do every single day. And then we meet them on the worst day of their lives.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that we owe it to the crime victims to pay it forward.
I agree.
And do something good.
So let's do that. Let's do one of the calls, whichever one you guys want. We can do the next one, or if you want to do that 7th one, or whatever. I don't care. We can.
All right. However you want to do it, we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
So I need to do we'll do the fundraiser, but also if you guys want to do something for Landon, I would be down for that too. I've sent her little cash apps and things before, and like back in the day on one of my streams, because she was traveling, I knew she was taking off work. She had to find a place to stay, food to eat, all those things, and miss work. So I put her cash app out, but last time I messaged her, she only had one left. Like, I don't remember if it was PayPal, Cash App, or what. And she was like, all I want is your prayers. But if we could all throw in and like get her something or do something special for her, I would love that. Or we could get one of those like these other creators, they just bought a buddy bench in memory of Summer Wells, and it's like a little bench at school where it's like red or something, or this one's going to be purple, and it's for when a kid is like, if you see a kid sitting on it, that means they're lonely or having a bad day, and another kid will know, hey, I'm going to go sit with them. Oh, it's so sweet. It makes me
Yes.
but
Something like and thank you, Clicker. Love you too. Something that like for Chris Byers, Michael Moore, and Steve Branch, they donated like this little reading nook. And I don't know if they're still doing it, but there used to be a Facebook group that would get together and take up collections and donate books to the Weaver Elementary Library, which is where the boys went to school. So doing things like that, I'm completely 100% down for, because I would love to pay it, forward and honor these children in a way that honors their memory and gives something to future generations.
Yeah, I would love that. That is so, so perfect. Hello, Angie. How are you, beautiful? And thank you, Trap Mafia. My friend Christine made it. She is an amazing graphic designer. If anybody needs anything like that done, reach out to me and I will hook you up. But I asked her to make some things for my second channel, and that was one of the things that came along with it, like some banners, a logo, some graphics and stuff. And so I just been using it because
Christine
I love it too.
does phenomenal work, and she does it in a timely fashion. Whereas if Allie were to be like, "Can you make me a thumbnail?" she'd need to ask me to help her 4 days before the thumbnail was needing to be done. It takes me forever. But Christine G can do it. She can do it really, really well, and she can do it in a timely fashion. She's very, very good at it.
Thank
very,
you,
very
Ren.
good.
Thank you so much, Renz. Jen, your thumbnails are incredible. I love them. They are like
Thank you.
The best of the best. You guys go look at her thumbnails. I'm telling you, she is so good at them. But Christine, this one, like I sent her a picture of me with some regular glasses on, and I didn't have the peace sign. I was just standing there, and she used that and hand sketched this little graphic like based on that. On her
She does really good work. She does really, really incredible work.
Megan, you didn't miss the call, but we just played part of it tonight. If you want to hear the whole call, I'm going to link it in the chat right now so you can hear it uninterrupted with no commentary. And then you guys, I guess we're going to wrap it up. Where's Curious Jen?
She went to change out her laundry. Oh, now
okay.
She's back.
If you guys have any ideas what we can do, that's a good idea. For Lena or in Lena's name. If anybody has any ideas, email me or one of the Jens and let us know, because I'm open to it and I definitely want to do something. Here's the calls in the chat now. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Her intro's bomb too, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Alma.
I get far more compliments on that intro than I do get criticisms, but I do get it's too long. It's from the replay or whatever, but I'm not going to shorten it or take it out because it'll take away the live chat, number one, and number two, it needs to be that length because YouTube is not good It's better now for me, but in the beginning, when I first started my channel, it wasn't great at getting out notifications, and even now, it's sometimey at best. And so this gives people a chance to get notified, to come in and catch it.
Yeah, it takes a minute for notifications to go out. That's why people will play music or a long intro at first. And if you're on the replay, you can just skip right through it. Just scroll to the bottom where you see the red bar and you'll see when it ends.
Yeah.
But yes, if you have any ideas for the fundraiser, my email and stuff, my contact information is on the banner at the bottom. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. What's the deal, Jen? What time and
10:30. I'm gonna do 10:30, and we're gonna play the calls from 217. Jen, is that right? Is that what's next? 217?
Yes.
Okay, because I know there's a day that there's no calls. Right?
There's no calls on the 18th or the 20th.
That's right.
You,
okay.
Nay.
Love you, Nay. And then tomorrow night at 9:15 we'll do the discussion. And once we get through these calls, we'll go back to Gypsy and Nick, because I want to give that case the attention and quality that it deserves. And I felt like today was kind of hectic, kind of rushed, and we're getting to the complicated part about it. And thank you, Clicker. And yeah. So I wanna give it the attention and my full focus. And I can't if I spread myself too thin, I'll get burnt out and I won't be able to do it good.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And that's all right. That'll give us time to go through that thoroughly, and then you go through that thoroughly, and it'll be better for both, in my opinion. Thank you, Molly.
Well, Skylab, I hope you find it, that rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
I was about to say that reminded me of that song about that. What is it? These songs about rain. It's that country song, "Rainy Night in Georgia."
Oh, yeah.
I love that song. All right, you guys. You are awesome. I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow in the daytime on another case. I want to try to still put out current stuff that's happening right now, like a true crime news or something. They are not the most popular series, but it's something I love so much. I like to stay on top of what's actually happening right now. And with these calls, I'm getting behind. So if I have the time, it's Sunday, I should be able to hopefully I can do that. But all right, you guys, I love you all. I hope you have the best night, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for helping us get the calls and get the case file. Thank you for making it possible. And thank you to everybody who donated and joined membership, bought members, and the people who have been members for a long time. And the last thank you, well, no, two last thank yous. Thank you guys for coming on. I love it when you come. And then thank you to my wonderful mods who I love so much. Sorry, Curious Jen. Did I cut you off?
Oh, no. I was just saying, of course.
I love it when you come. You got so quiet at the end. I was like, are you here or not here? Maybe she's doing something. The puppy needed out or something. I don't know. But all right, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. And yeah, thank you to my mods. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for everything. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so tired. I hit leave studio and I was about to leave and just leave the stream running.
You big silly. Bye.